Hello everybody and welcome back to the 33rd episode of the 2020 presidential election state by state series. We're moving along pretty quickly here, and today we have another important swing state, the state of Minnesota. As always, it's President Donald Trump facing former Vice President Joe Biden, the two candidates that will go head to head this November. And as always, let's get into it, starting with the 2008 election results between Barack Obama and John McCain. Obama defeated McCain by 10 points in Minnesota in 2008, winning by a margin of 297,000 votes. This was an expected victory for Obama, but it's worth noting that Minnesota only voted 1.13 points to the left of the national average, which establishes Minnesota as a very deep swing state in a closer popular vote election. Then in 2012, Obama's margin of victory, as it did nationwide, shrank in Minnesota. He only defeated Mitt Romney by 7.5 points, winning by about 70,000 votes, less than he did in 2008. However, interestingly, Minnesota voted further to the left of the national average in 2012 than in 2008. This was a very rare occurrence. Then in 2016, Hillary Clinton extended the Democrats' win streak in Minnesota that has lasted since Richard Nixon won the state in 1972. However, Clinton did lose a lot of ground compared to Democrats in years past, beating Trump by just 1.5 points and winning by just 44,000 votes. She has Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson to thank for taking a huge chunk of voters from Trump that would have ultimately won him the state. As for how it compared to the national average, Minnesota actually voted to the right of the national popular vote for the first time since 1952, with Clinton receiving 1.76% less than she did nationwide. Also, one final note is that Minnesota had the highest voter turnout in the country in 2016 with 75%. But now we move on to the 2020 data section, starting with 538's polling average, which out of all of the data you're about to see actually has Biden's second lowest margin of lead at 5.7 points. He has 50.5% of the average support in polls, while Donald Trump has an average of 44.8%. As for the piece of data with the lowest margin for Joe Biden, it's 538's 2020 forecast model, which gives him 52% to Trump's 47%, a 5-point advantage. They also give Biden a 72% chance of winning the state this November. And moving on to the JHK forecast, they actually give Biden's largest margin of lead at 8.4 points, with Biden at 52% and Trump at a very low 43.6%. Then comes the Our Progress forecast, which gives Biden a 7.8 point lead in Minnesota, expecting him to garner 52.3% of the vote to Trump's 44.5%. And next, we have the penultimate forecast, which is The Economist. They give Biden an 8.2 point lead, with their forecast only representing a two-way race, 54.1% for him and 45.9% for Trump. And finally, we have the EP forecast, which I debuted yesterday, so go check that out if you haven't already. And it has Biden at 6.3 points ahead of Trump and an expected final popular vote of 52.2% to 45.9%. And at last, we have reached the data consensus, which combines and averages out all of the pieces of data you just saw, and it puts Biden 6.9 points ahead of Trump with a final consensus of 52.2% in his column and 45.3% for Trump. And just like that, the polls have now closed in Minnesota, so let's go to our EP studios for a key race alert. 15% of the vote coming in our first update out of Minnesota. Joe Biden holds a tight lead as of right now by just over 6,600 votes. 49.23% going his way as of right now to 47.73% for Donald Trump. The Biden campaign will be hoping for a much larger margin of victory than this early vote shows, because if Minnesota is anywhere inside 3 points, it would be a fantastic sign for the president in not just the Rust Belt, but possibly nationwide. 48% of precincts are reporting in Minnesota, and Biden's lead here isn't as convincing as he would like it to be. He still holds less than 50% of the vote at 49.95% to Trump's 46.67%. His lead has extended out to 49,000 votes, however, and it should be expected to expand further as more vote comes out of the Minneapolis metropolitan area. 77% of precincts have reported results in Minnesota, and it's shaping up to be another high turnout affair. Biden has extended his lead to over 100,000 votes, and we can probably expect to make a call here soon, as things are shaping up a bit more as expected. Biden leads with 50.61% of the vote as things stand right now, to Trump's 46.05%. Joe Biden is the projected winner in Minnesota. He'll carry the state's 10 electoral votes. Biden expected to win here tonight, and he has, by over 4.5 points over Donald Trump. This is 3 points more than Clinton won by in 2016, as the final lead is at 163,000 votes for the former vice president in his victory here. That is over 110,000 more votes than Hillary Clinton won in 2016. And now looking at the county map, along with 8 bellwether counties in Minnesota, which are counties that have consistently, apart from a couple instances, voted for the candidate that eventually won the presidential election that year. None of these counties have been wrong since at least 2004, and none of them have been wrong more than 3 times. But Biden and Trump split them at 4 apiece. Joe Biden has won in Blue Earth County, in Nicollet County, Winona County, and Clay County, while Trump won in Kitson County, in Houston County, in Chippewa County, and Traverse County. Which of these 4 counties will continue their near perfection in predicting presidential election results remains to be seen, but that's how things have unfolded here in Minnesota, and with his 10 electoral votes, Joe Biden creeps even closer to Trump at 161 electoral votes, 275. Wisconsin, Iowa, Texas, and Nevada remain the only real swing states left to be called in this series, so keep watching for those. As for the popular vote, Biden is getting closer there as well. Trump only leads by 478,000 votes now, at 48.13% to Biden's 47.58%. But that does it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like the video down below if you did, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Also make sure to check out all of the other predictions in this series so you're all caught up on the action. Thanks so much for watching, and tune in next time. EP out.